Okay, so hi and welcome all of you to the session today on, I'll say it's a resiliency. So this is very much relevant in today's when you talk about this pandemic, and this has taught us many things in. Is our inner strength, which takes us long way. Is it? Are we facing issue with the audio? I'll give a quick brief about myself. Then, what is this resiliency or resilience is all about? The five key stress resilience skills which we need to adopt and adapt. The seven C's of resilience, which has been proven over the years, and a lot of pediatricians, child psychologists, they always suggest on the key skills which should be inculcated in all the kids from the very early age. And the last 15 minutes will be dedicating to your questions and answers. So, which I'll be getting to that Google Sheets, and whichever comes, I'll try to answer as much as possible questions I can. So let me just quickly introduce myself. This is Anamika Singh. I have 16 years of experience in IT. By qualification, I'm MBA in IT and system, and I have worked in various verticals and horizontals. And the companies which I have worked in past are Tata Alexi. Then it comes to LG, Unisys, Ericsson, Wipro, and currently I am associated with Capgemini from last 4.5 years, close to. And my key skills are I'm basically an auditor currently in this role, but my professional skills comprised of black belt, Six Sigma black belt. I'm a certified Scrum Master, and I have a couple of ISO certifications, 9K, 20K, 27K, and there's a portfolio which we manage with these skills called quality management, delivery excellence, business excellence. So these are some keywords or domain in which you will see people having those skills. So that's all quickly brief about me. And let us quickly see what this resilience talks about. So resilience is a quality. It's an ineffable quality which is imbibed by people across different ways of life. And this also allows people to how to get up, not be knocked down by the life, and also come back stronger than ever. Rather than letting your failure overcome and drain the resolve, that's to find a way to rise from the ashes. So these are some keywords which I relate to myself, and there are situations which does not work in your favor. So what this situations or experience talks about it, this gives an opportunities to us to learn, get exposure, and just move on, because success is not about getting the desired result. Success is also about how I'm able to do things differently, what I have been doing in the past. So that's how it's all about. For example, when I yesterday take a scenario, I was doing a particular audit, which is what I'm globally doing global audits these days. So what happens? I'm doing audit and I have been doing certain ways, but I realize I can accelerate the process by reducing or removing unwanted activities or streamlining or improving my productivity. So what I do is I try to remove those waste efforts which does not yield the desired results or which does not give me the related output which I'm looking for. So in that journey, every day I realize that okay, this is something which I can knock it off from my list, not required to do, and something which is to be added. So in similar way, even in our personal space, it happens. So resiliency is a trait which need to be built over time, and trust me, we all are resilient. Any human being from the day he is born, he has this inbuilt skill of resiliency, but it's all about realizing it, knowing it. But when I talk about, especially a lot of people are talking about positive well-being, emotional intelligence, and moving out of negativity, how to take failures, lots and lots are written and spoken on different platforms. So why this is all about? This is all about has become more glaring because of this pandemic. Because life pre-COVID and now during the COVID, which we are going through, sailing through, is different. And the what we have got in the past and now what we are, it's like life trying to be with basics and we are trying to be happy. But certain things remain the same. So let us quickly jump towards the different principles of resilience. Cultivate. So there are seven principles of resiliency which are linked to each other, and all these traits and the principles are a part of our personality which we can add over a period of time, and definitely it will make us much better human being, professionally and personally both. First, let us start with the first principle. The first principle talks about cultivating a belief in the ability to cope. So, what does this cultivation stands for? Cultivation means how you see or perceive a scenario when you go through or when you experience. So, in that journey of experiencing or going through the experience, how do you see perceive the situations and how do you look at it, how do you struggle? So those struggles and those difficulties, all those in that, your stamina, your ability to push it out of it and move on, so that is a process of cultivation. And trust me, we all have come through scenarios in life where things does not go the way we look for, the way we have planned for, the way we want. So in that journey, these are the things, these experiences, once that phase is over, you look at it and say, oh wow, I learned it, I'm wiser. So when you meet people in your professional world, when you come towards this network, this chain of networking, working with different team, collaborating, you meet and you have a lot of experience. Certain activities you succeed, certain activities does not get the desired outcomes. So in that, the whole crux is what the experience I have got it, because trying something new is always required to move on and grow. Otherwise, there is no way getting stuck in one place, which leads to monotony, I'll say, and saturation. So let us again, I'll just bring back to the resiliency is like a, it's always a resiliency always says that you have a ability, your ability and in to fight back in adversity and also bounce back, become wiser and more experienced, and look at scenarios with a positivity. So this whole resiliency, the key word is looking towards situations which you face with a positivity. Every opportunity, there is a reason behind it which leads to a better future. So that's how it is. The next principle talks about stay connected with the sources of support. So what does support mean? Supports are your inner circle, your family, your friends, your colleagues whom you count on, and It always says that in this pandemic time, people say that let's be connected, let's talk to each other. When you are feeling an anxiety or stress or uneasiness, keep talking to people, sharing your thoughts. So that talks about the whole fundamentals of being connected with your sources. The sources are the people who stand for you, who are like your backup, who comes and support you in your needs, and who also provides you the enough support or I'll say stand for you. That's a key word. So there is a way. And stay connected when I say about, especially when you talk about the working scenarios in your corporate world, always when you work with people, make networks, keep connecting with people and be with them, see how things are moving in the industries. There are different platforms where people collaborate and they share what they're doing in their space, professional spaces. Some they're maybe they're enhancing their skills or they're acquiring something or they have got some achievements or accolades, so they share on those platforms. And that's all the ways there are professional and personal platforms where people collaborate. Now, the next talking about what you are going through. Yes, there is no harm in talking about your experience or your inner feelings, but yeah, we need to talk to those people whom we are trusting on, counting on, and whom you have a good relationship where they can guide you, they can show you the correct way of going ahead. And problems are the part and parcel of all of our life. We all go through this journey, and every time you'll see something unexpected just bumps up. And it's a roller coaster ride, but trust me, without that, the experiences, it does not make it makes you just like a, yeah, I'm in a comfort zone. So if I don't do something differently, after, for example, I'm doing same work for 2 3 years, yeah, I'm comfortable in that zone, and now I can say I can manage this like a tick in a box. So what happens, I can continue doing it for years and years and years, but have I sharpened myself? Because I have potential to learn something new always. So why we are not doing it? So what happens? You get saturated. It becomes monotonous. So what's is always say that keep upskilling, keep learning, and keep doing something challenging. So until as you get a challenge, you won't uh, come out of your shell or comfort zone. So that always says that taking something new, learning something new is always advisable. Now, the next principle talks about being helpful to others. Being helpful to others or definitely means providing a support to people around you, even your professional space or personal space, because there's always good saying. The saying is art of giving. The art of giving, which you have extra, you should definitely share with others. It can be helping people with ideas, with kind of supports they need. And we all have seen this COVID time how we have extended our help to our surroundings, to our people, our supporting staffs, our family members, in similar way the whole community as a whole. So this helping to others, which also gives you a feeling of gratitude and belongingness. So these they go a long way, helping in your professional space to people. Sometimes there are scenarios when you need to work for some people or help people without there is another reason, any reason or motive behind it. But yeah, in this journey of collaborating with people who are not even part of your team, you make network, plus you learn from them, and you also see your perceptions also change, because maybe you are seeing something from different perspective, but the other person coming from different departments added different aspects to it, and then you say, yeah, that also will be the way of looking at things. So as we say, diversity is matter. So in similar way, the way you work, the team across the groups, there's always a better the horizon get expanded. The next principle talks about activate positive emotions. When I talk about positive emotions, emotional quotient has vital role, or emotional intelligence has vital role to play. How to be positive? Every situation, sometimes you get some work which you may not be interested, or sometimes you are doing same thing over and over and over and becomes like, oh, I'm good at it and I can do it. Nothing new about it. Yeah, it can happen. So what happens in that scenarios, you need to see that, yeah, then I'm expert at it. Why don't I automate it? Why don't I simplify it? Why don't I make up best practices? And I can publish across the organizations or make something or repository where people can refer it and the mistakes or the streamline things. I'll say what you know and what you can contribute, give back to the organization. So your experiences you have, but making a some sort of a lessons learned or best practices or sharing across the team, mentoring team, that makes a lot of difference. And positivity is, I think, has a vital role to play in your personal and professional space. Being positive means looking everything with a positivity. Even a failure has a message towards it, because as it is widely said that I was reading yesterday one of the article which says, when I'm trying to break a stone, I would have struck it 20 times. And the last strike, the 20th strike, I was able to break the stone. But that does not mean that my last 19th attempt was waste. No, the last 19th attempt were indication of my strength, stamina, and my perseverance. Without that, I would not have been able to hit the stone the 20th time. So that is a called your stamina to continue pushing yourself for better and better. So that's called positive emotions. Cultivate an attitude of survivorship. Yeah, so this talks about the cultivation, as in the first principle also this Birds was coining that attitude. Attitude makes a lot of difference in looking at different things. Yeah, we all go through the adversity, challenges, and nothing is like always a smooth walk. Yeah, there will be rocky paths. So in that, what I have to look for is, and how we can do that survivors in having a gratitude in life. What I have, look at more of positive things and look at what you have instead of looking at what you don't have. So that means looking at the positivity side, upskilling yourself, learning every day something new. For example, maybe I am good at painting, but I'm not good in cooking. But this pandemic has taught me without cooking, I cannot survive because I cannot get my delivery of the food. So what happens in that time of pandemic? I got a time to cook for myself. I ate my own food cooked. Taste was not good. That I realized, yeah, but I have to live with this food only. There's no other option. So what I'll do that? Yeah, I'll try to make something better. I'll improve on it. And over the period of time, I started enjoying that. The culinary skill has evolved. So today I realized that, yeah, I never looked at those things in a way which I've been seeing, because everything was easily available. It was just a click on the app, you are getting it done, finished. So I always say that the law of diminishing marginal utility, that's also impact your attitude. So when I talk about law of diminishing marginal utility is a typical economy term which talks about when you are hungry, the first bite of a food, or for example, take a case of pizza. I'm hungry, I ordered a pizza. When I took a first bite, I enjoyed, it's delicious. Second bite, it was same. Third, I was like, yeah, it's okay, it's filling my stomach. The moment I reached to the 10th bite, I'm like, yeah, it's okay, I'm done, full, that's it. So what happens in this? The value of the pizza starts deteriorating. The similar way, when you get something in abundant, and over the period of time, the value of that product, services start diminishing. So that is called law of diminishing marginal utility. Yeah. So let's come to the next principle. The next principle talks about seeking meaning. Seeking meaning means, for example, whatever you do it, you may be doing it something in terms of coding. So when you do coding, you have been asked to do code, develop a code for a particular functionality. So what? Look at the bigger picture. Which application it goes and sits, what is a function, how the end user is going to use it, how the users are going to see this product, what should be the output. So always look for any activity you do as a small component which go and sit on the bigger platform. For example, if you talk about an organization where people are working in different department, take a department called finance department. Finance is a backbone for any organization. So what happens? Finance department has a role to play in terms of invoicing, managing cost, the payrolls, and whole gamut of cost and finance aspects. So they have a role to play in the organization or an enterprise per se. So when an organization sets up, every department has a role to play and they come together, collaborate, and that's called an enterprise. So that's how it is. So every role matter, every work matter, and we as an individual, whichever places we are working in, we are part of a family. We have also our roles and responsibilities on which we work for so we contribute towards it in an organization. We also work towards a common objective for an organizations and work towards attaining the goals which have been defined. So yeah, it's a drill down and ultimately we all have a common vision and mission for which we work. So whatever you do it, there is a purpose and there's a meaning behind it. But sometimes it happens, it gets diluted. So in that way, we need to be focused and ensure that whatever we are doing it, we are adding value to it. So that's called value proposition. Now, so let me just quickly uh, talk about the different ways of looking at scenarios. So when you talk about resiliency, there are 7 C's of resiliency, and this is a proven, I'll say, a framework which has been used by various pediatricians, psychologists for the kids, the cognitive skills among the kids. So it starts at very early age from the toddlers and it when a person got into the teenage, so these skills have a vital role to play to sail through different scenarios in life and it makes you, I'll say, resilience to face it. Some those skills, let me quickly just pull out those skills. Those skills are competency, the confidence, connection, character, contribution, coping, and control. So, by the time I'll be explaining all these aspects of resiliency, so let me just tell you there are certain examples of how failure has a vital role to play in success of any individual's life. Let's take an example of Walt Disney. Walt Disney was thrown out of his job. The reason was he doesn't have creative skills from a printing organization. And after he was out of the work, he started his own organization. And he's a creator of the famous cartoon characters Mickey Mouse, and today the world knows about his work. So, if I look at this whole scenarios, if he would not have been thrown out of the organization, he would not have been able to think out of the box. So, thinking out of the box is always important. As I said earlier, we may be good in doing something, but you cannot keep doing it again and again and again. The reason for it is our mind is sharp, absorbing. So, what we need to do is take challenges, otherwise, the brain gets rusted. Because when you once you're in comfort zone, you start getting monotonous feelings, saturation comes. So, there's always a say that keep taking challenge, keep struggling, keep failing. There's no harm, there's no shame in failing. It's okay. It's okay to fail because I have a guts to try. So that is the most important factor in today's scenario. Today if you see people, there is no shame in talking about a person going through a depression. He or she openly says that yeah, I am under depression. It's fine, it's okay, because it's all about accepting ourselves and talking about it and working on it. So it's all about the situations and scenario, yeah, but there's no taboo about talking something which you are going through. No, that's not at all wrong. And I think it's a very much required. There's a courage. You need a courage to talk about it. So there's always a say, keep yourself always positive. Keep going. Situations will never be positive all the time. And this, for example, this pandemic scenario has taught us a lot of things. It has taught us how to get rid of unwanted things. Today, everything is remote, everything is digital, which earlier we never thought like. Today, we are not traveling so much, we are not going to offices, we are working remotely, but still we are collaborating. Our productivity is also meeting the required goals and criteria. We are able to deliver what we have to. Then earlier, it was not. Earlier, work from home was something never heard of. People were like, it's once in a blue moon, you can just work from home a day in a week or a month in a week. And this is also, it was like never, never, never encouraged by many companies. But today's case, when you say everyone is working from home, it's common. Earlier, it was like, no, it's not accepted. A lot of organizations will never talk about it. But if you talk about pandemic, when it has taught us, yeah, we can do it. So when the opportunity came, we realized. And if you see today's case in this COVID, everything is moving on digital space, or even the see the payment. All the payments are happening in digital way. There were no. I need to go to a particular place to visit, to buy, to travel. We are doing same thing sitting at one place. So that has also led to a lot of change in the thought, the way we look at scenarios. And let me tell you what are there are certain pros and cons of every situation. For this pandemic has taught us look out of the box or think out of the box. It has also contributed towards improving our environment. I'll say that ecological balance have improved. I talk about pollution. Pollutions have been there's a drastic drop down in pollution levels. The rain has been pretty normal. We are seeing, and we have become much more. Uh, I'll say realizing the value of things we have in life, and ultimately that matters. So what happens is every scenarios will also make us realize things. Talk about the health industry. The health industry in India has gone through the dramatic change. Now in pre-COVID, never thought about that we need to have so many facilities about the healthcare. Today, everybody is talking about sanitization, cleanliness, then how to make social distancing and keep your surroundings clean, keeping your immunity all level high. So what happens in this? These all are leading to getting rid of all lifestyle diseases. People are so conscious about their health, they are talking openly about it, and they are trying to make best of the situations. And let me just take a farming. Farming was like after I think long couple of years, I have never heard people enjoying farming. But today everybody says that I loved gardening. I like spending time with my garden, my plants. Even I'm doing it, which we never got it because were in hustle and bustle of running with this day to day life. We never thought about we can do something here also. That's an area we can work on. So this has given a work-life balance. Let us bring out it to it. We people started spending time with the family, and this also helps us towards looking at scenarios in a positive manner. Yeah, when we started with the lockdown, it was totally different scenario. We were panicking, how we'll do it, but it's our inbuilt skills of resiliency which helps us to cope up. So the resiliency is something, just let me give you an example. When a child is born and he or she starts trying to walk after a couple of months, maybe 6 or 7 months, or toddler trying to walk, he falls, but he or she never stops it. They'll hold some support and they'll try to walk, they'll take a walker, something, but they'll never stop. So that is a basic skill of resiliency. If I want to tell somebody what is resiliency, the best thing is to learn from a toddler who is trying to walk on his own. So we all are born with the skills of resiliency. It's just that we are not aware of or we have not realized it. But trust me, this pandemic has told us or showed us the way we are resilient to the situation. So let me quickly jump to the different skills requires. See different 7 C's of resiliency. Resiliency when you it talks about competency. So here let me just quickly pull out the points. When we notice what others are doing right and give them opportunities to develop important skill, they feel competent. We undermine competence when we don't allow people to recover themselves after a fall. So, what does this talks about competency is all about is when you see somebody doing something good, different, out of the box, you encourage he or she to do it. And in this way, they can look at the scenarios differently. The same thing can be looked in different ways. So it also do diversification. So you also, when you don't encourage a person, it means you're trying to suppress it. So maybe when you're looking at opportunities to try something, you may not able to succeed, but that doesn't mean that we'll not try. We need to try. For example, I just heard one of the questions somebody has written. By the time I joined this session, he or she has asked what I should do to become a CEO at an early age. So to become a CEO is more what? It's a CEO, you want to start a new company and you want to become an entrepreneur and you want to lead it, or you want to join already set up or a grown up company and there you want to grow in the ladder. There are two different ways. But I'll say if you have a passion to do it and you are an entrepreneur, you want to be look of the areas and opportunity and tap that which has not been worked on. And there are so many in our country where we can work on. And I think with a zeal and enthusiasm and determination are the key which takes us long way. Yeah, definitely it needs a lot of effort, planning, a business idea with a business case. And that's how it goes. Anything which starts, even you look at the Flipkart, how it has come in India, and today now it's a Walmart, Flipkart. So they have also originated with this idea of the gap in our system or the society, or these are the opportunities which also is I'll say these opportunities are the way of business ideas and which give people opportunities to come up those unique ideas, make your business case and do your feasibility study and go ahead and start the business or enterprise. So that's how the competency work. So whenever you see or you notice somebody having in your team some skills or having a potential, we should encourage him or her to go ahead and explore it and work on it. Now the next talks about confidence. Confidence, I think we all are aware of this, its ability to face situations and think differently and how to cope up with the challenges and adversities. So it's all about your inner strength, which matters. And let me just tell it here clearly that when you talk about confidence, emotional quotient, and has a vital role to play in your confidence. So, how strong you are emotionally and how balanced you are with your experience, and that makes the confidence works. And there is no other keys to sail through in any part of life without confidence. If I don't know something, it's fine. Let me accept it. I don't know, there is no harm in accepting it because I'm knowing myself, my strength. So we always say, na, do SWOT analysis. So what is the meaning of SWOT analysis? To identifying your strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So that's how it works. So confidence does not mean always I'm so confident that I'll be successful. No, there will be always a fear. That's okay. Let it be. When I complete a particular work or particular task or assignments, and after that executing it, the end result does not matter first. First matter my confidence to start the work, have the perseverance to complete it to the end. And with the perseverance, I think, and your confidence, you can sail through the. But stop thinking about the end result in the fast. Work with a vision that I'm going to do it, I'm focused, and this is the goal which I'm working for. Keep putting your efforts towards a particular goal, work on it. The end result may be positive, may not be positive. The strike ratio may be 20% out of, maybe you may not get the desired result, but the experience counts. So thinking out of the box, doing something differently, looking at the same thing in a different way. These are the three key ways which also helps us in building our confidence in our day-to-day life. And confidence is something which doesn't come overnight, it has to be worked on. And the more and more you are reading or talking to people or working or being aware of what is happening globally. So these are also are building blocks in your confidence. So now the next talks about connections with other people, communities, the support team to stand on their own and develop creative solutions. So what are the connections? Connections are your networks. So networks are not only professional networks, it's are your personal circle, your friends, your families, the societies on which we are living in, and the professional circle that comes also there. So they all work together. They provide the support because every part of this community has a role to play in our life. Without them, we'll not be able to stand alone. So in similar way, when you talk about connection, let me look at it in a different way. Any activities you do in an organization as a team, we stand as a team, and it's all about a teamwork. Every person in the team comes on the table with different skills and add different dimensions to the same activity. So their experience count. They have for example, I have 5 people in my team. They are from a different backgrounds. When we are doing a project, their experience will make my project much robust. And in any kind of engagement, for example, I'm trying to do a brainstorming, these ideas coming from different team members with their experience will definitely add value to it. So that's how the collaboration and connection which can be related to in this resiliency aspects. Now, character. What you talk about character? Character is looking at a person and talking about your values, ethics, somebody who believes something is right or wrong and stand for it. It's called integrity, ethics, and values. So the 3 words I take away with the character. So it takes time and certain duration to build up our character. And yeah, we need to have a strong values and ethics when we are working to it in the personal space or professional space. They have a role to play in our well-being, in our success, and in our day-to-day life. This matters. So we need to stand for it. So character has a vital role to play anything we do. So we should have that. That's why there's a lot of stress today in a lot of organization on ethics and values. There's a policy around it. They try to build around it, and the success of organization has a vital role to play, which is contributed through ethical values. And you will see everybody says that we should abide the ethics and values, integrity. So they are building blocks in our personality. Even an organizational success is also based on them. So the next C principle talks about is contribution. So contribution is a role an individual play. So when you talk about contribution, your contribution in a team you're working with, for example, we always work in a group. In any organization, there will be different teams working for it, or different objectives, different assignments, different projects or programs they are working for. So here, every individual are part of a team where they have a certain roles and responsibility to execute. So they contribute. And contribution also means not about for your contribution, also helping others. So well-being of others also have a role to play. So when you see a team members in your team is lagging behind, so as a good team player, you have completed your piece of work and you have a bandwidth where you see my team members are struggling. You can go ahead and support and ensure that it's ultimately a teamwork. So where you have a bandwidth to support, you're able to do it and you'll be able to fulfill your thing on the stipulated timeline. So that's a contribution. So contribution has a vital role to play in your life, personal space, maybe a professional space, and that makes you successful. It's also when you can't help somebody in your team, you get the person realizes it, and it's also gratitude. So that's gratitude comes, and it's like a inbuilt. We need to inculcate this habit of contributing, and when you contribute, you learn also, and that's also gives you a positivity. You feel positive. Yeah, I'm able to help somebody. Even this pandemic time, when we have helped people, we extended our support to our supporting staffs and all those. We felt good. I have something which I can support. So that gives a feeling of happiness, being contented, being at peace, because feeling others suffering will make us also disturbed. So now the next principle talks about coping. Coping typically means that our stamina, our perseverance, and trait we all have to come out of tough time. I'll say tough time, but it also says about the stresses or a situation which does not fall the way we are looking for, or negative scenarios or unpleasant situations. For that, we need to have a healthy strategies to cope up. What could be those healthy strategies? Healthy strategies will be your support circle, your friends, family, colleagues, which you can talk to, your maybe doing a meditation or reading something, or what relaxes you, what makes you motivated. So I think that is extremely important, and I always say that yeah, we are good in doing our work, and we talk a lot about upskilling, growth, and moving ahead, growing up in the ladder. But we also need to pull out some time for something which we enjoy, which makes us happy, relaxed. If you like reading books, fictional or non-fictionals, I think we should spend time in reading. Reading makes you happy, it's learned and experienced. So, because I always tell people in whatever seminars I have attended, I always say that, and we need to inculcate the habit of reading. In today's age of digital media, most of the people are stuck with gadgets, iPad or mobile or laptops, computer, everything is in digital. But trust me, keeping a book as a hard copy in the hand and reading, it's a totally nostalgic feeling. And keeping a bookmark in the book and reading it, which I do today also, and I love doing it because going through the books which we used to be do in our college days and school days from the library. Today also I follow the same practices, going through the different books, because that also add aspects to your life, and there are so many good things you learn. So those positivity, reading autobiographies, because I was reading last month a book on Wings of Fire by Abdul Kalam Azad, and this book is excellent to go for in terms of the struggle he has gone through in the small town of Rameshwaram, and how life has been with the hardships, no availability of information, knowledge, facilities, but look at the journey he has traveled and the way he has. The today whole city is known by his name. And if you read the book, it talks about how he used to be a newspaper vendor in the morning to support his family, and early morning he used to go and supply newspapers in Rameshwaram in his vicinity. And his father used to run a tea shop in Rameshwaram, and he used to be supporting his father after his school hours. He used to study in the street lights. There was no facilities, and but it's all about the determination he had. And when we are determined, and you see how people come and help you in this journey, and you are able to sail through. So I always suggest people to read. It can be reading, it can be what you like doing it, writing or painting or going around, going out, traveling. Some people like traveling and exploring it, because when you are not well, you're not feeling happy and anxiety, just move out of the space, talk something differently, read something, meet people, or get out of that space. So that change of the place also change the way we look at scenarios. So that's how the coping works. Now the next talks about control. Control, the privilege and respects are earned through demonstrated responsibility, which learns to make wise choices and feel a sense of control. So it also talks about controlling your emotions, and sometimes we also need to control our decisions, because every decision has an impact. To do that analysis, impact analysis, I'll say a risk analysis, and take a decision. So there is always a end result or impact which is attached to it. So every move has a reason behind it and the logic. So the last part of this presentation is a YouTube video which I'll not play for you, but this talks about the failure, how people have taken it and how that led to the success. So let me quickly pull out some of the examples from this video. This video is also talks about there was a person who lost election, I'll say 8 times US election, but that person became president of United States, Abraham Lincoln. So he never left I'll say the zeal to become the president. So losing something 8 times is huge, but see the determination, and finally he became the 16th president of United States. So every journey has a failure. There is no failure, there is no success. And as I said earlier also, we need to fail. Without failing, we'll never try anything new. It also means that I'm good at something and I'm doing, that's all. And I'm done with the same thing. No, I'm good at something. That means I'm done. Let me do something different and let me learn and prove myself. So that is called challenge. So challenge is a way of life, and we have immense stamina to push and come out of our comfortable zone and do something which will definitely give you satisfaction. And trust me, after you do something different with a hardship and the experience which it gives you, the satisfaction and gratification makes you happy. So that was all about resiliency. And I think I'm already on the time. So what I'll do is I'll quickly pull out some of the questions which are there on the screen, and let me just talk about some of the questions. Okay, there was a question coming from how to start preparing becoming a leader. So what I'll say that to become a leader, as I said initially also in my discussion, work on your skill, what you are good in, and whatever opportunities come on your way, take it. Just take it in terms of learning. For example, I got opportunities in Java and I'm good in C, and which is my area which I want to pursue. But no problem, take it. Tomorrow, when you get into the bigger role, maybe you become a project manager, program manager, and you are driving an application, a whole big project where both technology have a role to play. So here your knowledge of Java will add to it. When you are reviewing a design or architecture, you'll know these components have a role to play. So adding a diversity in your portfolio, doing different things will definitely make you wiser and experienced. Because as you grow in the ladder, it's always advisable to have experience of different flavors of technology, and whichever opportunities comes, you take it as with a positivity and grab it and work on it. Because you always get opportunities in life when you want to do and I'll say to pursue what you want to do. But when you start your career, it may not be the choice. There's no choice, maybe. What comes, you take it, learn it, and then you will propel. It also means that that is a perceptions or I'll say the particular dimension will get added in your resume. So it adds to it. So always adding different technology will is a value additions to your profile. So I suggest to all the students whom I meet, new technology does not mean only I want to do what I'm good in or I'm interested in. Whichever comes, take it with a positivity and work on it. Working means learning the nuances of the particular technology, looking everything with a bigger picture. I'm doing coding today, but I want to do design. I want to play a role of architect. So if you have a different technology flavor, you can lead a team with the designing and solutioning. So if you have a knowledge of solutioning, you can lead a team for the managing the entire program, driving end to end. So that adds a totally different dimensions of your professional aspects. So that's how you look at things. So now is yes, I got a question on, okay, Let me just tell you, there is a lot of buzzword is about different technology on which you can work on. Yeah, there's a C, there is a Java, there is a Oracle, there are SAP technologies. The big evolving technologies coming away is our machine learning, our robotics, I'll say. So they have a big role to play in our coming scenarios or coming time. Machine learning is a something which is going to be a future. Robotics, most of the things are driven by robotics. Then talks about big data is going to be like that scenarios. So these kind of new technologies, learning it and utilizing it, getting opportunities to work on, it's a great, I'll say, experience to add on it. So that's how I look at things in this aspects of resiliency and sailing through this pandemic. And I also say that there is also another aspects of looking at the scenarios of the job. There's also an area called information security, cyber security, which is I think driving the whole IT industry, because security has a role to play when you talk about digitalization. Everything is moving to cloud, so there's cybersecurity as a key role to play. So look at those aspects of cybersecurity, hone your skills on cybersecurity areas like ethical hacking, penetration testing, and using different security tools, acquiring skills on cybersecurities. So this is also an area which you can look into. So these are something which definitely add to it. And as I also said that learning about and reading about new technology is always good. Go join a platform and where you can share your knowledges, share your experiences, and upskilling yourself, because I assume most of people are pass out from the colleges, going to be passing out or graduating it. So in that area, adding skills apart from what was in your curriculum will definitely add to it. So that is also important. Upskilling is a only way to sail through and keep learning every day something new, keep looking at the technology as a bigger picture. I always say that whatever we do, whatever we come across, they have a role to play. So this pandemic has given us a huge opportunity to look out of the box. How I can do the same thing differently, how I can do the same thing remotely without even traveling to 1,000 miles. So that also increase your productivity. You can do the same thing sitting remotely. So that is a different way of looking at it. And a lot of things will move to clouds, and they are moving to clouds. So cloud is going to be our way of working, which is growing every day. So that's how we look at the whole scenarios of the current resiliency in today's scenarios of pandemic. So this is what all I see. Any questions further to it? I think that's what I can see. So any question, maybe you can feel free to write in this sheet, which we can answer. And let me just tell you one more thing is reading the autobiographies of people, not from the only technical aspects, from other lines of business or the, like, I'll say, we can relate to. So they are thought ahead of times. So there are, let me just summarize to it is learning, upskilling, growing every day. Growing does not mean only in the professional space, growing in your personal space, handling things differently, and also I'll say that looking scenarios, every situation as opportunities to learn, and even you don't get a success at first time, but we shouldn't be losing it out or the getting knocked out. Keep trying. At the end, if I have a determinations, I'll make my way and sail through. So there is no shortcut. We need to work hard with the perseverance. So I think doing hard work and perseverance will take us a long way. So I think that's all from my side. And any other questions? Or we are good to wrap it up? Okay. So I'd like to thank all of you for this session, and stay safe, and look for another connect. Bye for now, and bye bye. I think somebody has wrote audio has been stopped, ma'am. Okay, okay, no problem, no problem. Okay, thank you. So we can log it off. Okay, have a great day. Bye bye.